Okay, guys, so we are officially starting the cookie project, but before we actually get into what's going on, we need to talk about inequalities. So we know an inequality, it means a greater, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And those can also associate with graphs. So we're going to approach them just like we approach a normal graph. We're going to start by looking at the y-intercept, which will be what follows afterwards, and that's where I'm starting. So I see -2, so I'm going to start down 2. See how well I can, might have to do this with my mouse. So let's clear that. I'm going to start down 2. Oh, I wanted the red color. Okay, and then from there, we're going to go the slope. And see that my number in front of my x is 3. So I'm going to go up 3 and then always to the right, the number of the denominator. Since I don't have a denominator, my denominator is an invisible 1. So I'm going to go up 3 to the right 1. Up 3 to the right 1. Up 3 more to the right 1. Now you can say, hey, what about the back half of my graph? What is that going to look like? So I go back to my starting point and I go the opposite direction. Since I was going up and to the right, I'm going to go down and to the left. So down 3, left 1. Down 3, left 1. Now, I can't just draw a straight line and call it good. With inequalities, I can have lots of different answers as my solutions. So because of that, I need to identify what type of line this is going to be. If it's a greater than or a less than, it's going to be dashed. So I'm going to go ahead and get my graphing tool. And start in the best spot, so I'm going to adjust it a little bit. And we're going to color him blue. So there's my first line. Next, with inequalities, we also can, there's more than just what's laying on that line to be my answer. We also have anything below or above the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a point that's not on my graph, and we're going to check to see if that would be included. So I typically like to pick the point 0, 0. And if you notice, we kind of got close to 0, 0, but we didn't actually touch it. So is 0 greater than 3 times 0 minus 2? Well, 3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 is -2. So is 0 greater than -2? Yes. I'd rather have no dollars than owe someone dollars. So because that's true, we're going to go ahead and shade where that solution point is. So since 0, 0 was a valid solution, I'm going to find it on the graph and I'm going to color that side in. So all of my answers for this particular problem lie to the right, to the left. Problem number 2. If you notice, I have something going on with my y, so I have to undo that first. And what I do to one thing, I do to every single piece. So y is less than or equal to 1 over 2x plus 2. So I'm going to start now up at 2, just like I started down 2 based on my intercept over here. And I'm going to make those a little bit bigger so they're easier to see. Much better. A little bit too much. Great. So now I'm going to go the slope again. So in this case, since I have a fraction, I'm going to go up 1, and then to the right, the denominator, which is 2. Going to go up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. Then to go backwards, I'm going to go back to my starting point and go backwards. So I'm going to go down 1 to the left 2, down 1 to the left 2, down 1 to the left 2. I see that I have an equal to, so we're going to be a solid line. And then we have to plug in our point. So again, I didn't hit 0. I didn't get as close, but I kind of got pretty close to it versus being way over here. So I did not get 0 again, so I can go ahead and plug it in, and I'm going to go back to the original because I want to make the original be true. So 2 times 0, is that smaller than 0 plus 4? Well, 2 times 0 is 0, and then 0 plus 4 is 4. So is 0 smaller than or equal to 4? Since that is a true statement, we're going to go ahead and color in wherever that point was. And since I picked 0, 0, it's down here below it. Now, number 3. If you notice, my graph isn't ready to go again. My problem's not ready to go again. I can't go ahead and start graphing. I need to manipulate it. So I need to get y on the left side by itself. So to do that, I'm going to move the x. And currently, the 3x is positive. So to undo positive, I subtract. Next, I see I have a negative sign, so I have to undo that negative by dividing every single term, and that's not a 7. Now, if you remember back in your Math A days, when I divide by a negative, I flip the inequality sign as well. So my new one, and I'm going to write it down below because I'm starting to run out of space. Y is greater than 3x minus 5. Okay, so I'm going to start down at 5. 2, 3. If I don't go cross-eyed, that is, it made my dot little again. So down 5 and then up 3, 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. And down 3, left 1. Okay, let's go ahead and identify. Well, it is not equal to, so it's going to be dashed. I didn't start my line very well, so it's got a little off. And then we need to determine how we're going to shade. So let's plug in that 0. Again, we're plugging it right back in the middle, into the beginning, I mean. And again, I didn't hit 0, 0. That's not one of my points, so I can plug it in. So 3 times 0 minus 0, is that smaller than 5? So I have 3 times 0, which is 0, minus 0 is less than 5. Is 0 minus 0 0? So is 0 smaller than 5? Yep, it works out. So that's where we're going to color our answer. My next one is where x is negative 6. So we know x's go left and right. So 1, 2, 6. There's my first dot. And I see that it's greater than or equal to. So with my line, it's going to be solid. And it's just the line x is x is equal to negative 6. And then I'd have to plug in a point. So let's plug in 0. Is 0 greater than negative 6? It is. So my whole answer is all this stuff. All right, next problem. I see that I am ready to start. I have y by itself. However, I don't have a b value, so that b value is the invisible plus 0. So we have to start at 0. Unfortunately, now when I do my plug-in point, I can't check that guy. So I'll have to find something easier. Maybe we can use like 1, 1. So I have a negative sign with this one, so I'm going to go down 2 to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. Down 2 to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. And then to go backwards, up 2 to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2. To create my line, I see it's going to be dashed again because it is not equal. One of these times I'll draw it perfect the first time. And then let's go ahead and color. So I can't pick 0, 0 because that doesn't work. Let's try 1. Is 1 less than negative 2 times 3? I'm sorry, 2/3, negative 2/3 times 1. So negative 2/3 times 1 is negative 2/3. So is 1 smaller than negative 2/3? No. A positive number can't be smaller. So because that's not true, you notice 1, 1 would be right where my mouse is. We are not going to color there since that wasn't a true statement. So we're down here. Next one, I see y is not by itself, so I have to start by dividing by 4. So y is greater than negative 2. So we're going to go and we are going to plot where y is negative 2. And it is not equal, so it is a dashed line. That's not what I wanted to do. And it's where the line y is always equal to negative 2. And then we'll plug in our original point is 4 times 0. Okay, let's do. I can pick 0, 0 this time, because again, 0 is not on there. So 0 is greater than negative 8, which is true. So everything above. All right, there is your homework. These are part of your cookie packet, so please get those done.